What was the last day like when you put on the costume for the last time? Was there any, trepidation?
You mean at Warner?
Yes.
When I finished up at Warner?
Yeah, when you finished up doing
No,
it.
as a matter of fact, I just felt it was time. When people asked me, how did you know when it was time to go? I said, when my pilot light went out. You got to get a certain amount of zoom going. You got to be flying low in order to do a clown shtick. And if you couldn't do that, then you weren't a clown anymore. But you had to be flying at a very high speed. And, it took a lot of energy. And when I was through, I'd had enough.
Right. What was the first thing you did when it was over?
No big deal. Came home, hung up the suit, said, well, I'm home. And went out to dinner, I suppose. But it was just one of those things where it had run the gamut, and it was time to hang it up.
Right. How much of Bob Marvin is in that character, Flippo the Clown?
Well, Bob Marvin started being funny in places like high school. I used to carry on all the time. And I remember, I'll never forget, my woodworking teacher, his name was Mr. Melrose, and he was about 6'4". He was a great big guy. And he was my homeroom teacher, and I was always messing around during homeroom and so forth, throwing spitballs and this, that, and the other thing. And he'd say, Marvin, knock it off. I said, yes, sir. And I'd keep right on doing things. And more than once he threw me in the wood barrel. There's a big round barrel there full of scrap wood. And when he got tired of messing with me, he'd come over and pick me up by the scruff of the neck and throw me in a wood barrel. And I'd shut up. But Mr. Phelps was another one. He had a paddle that had big holes in it. I said, what's with the big holes? He said, it cuts down the wind resistance. To give you a better swat. And boy, when he swatted you with that paddle, you knew it.
You knew it, yeah.
Yeah, they don't do that anymore, I guess.
No, I think that's past. If you met somebody on the street who didn't know, had never seen this character, how would you describe that character?
How would I describe Flippo?
Yeah, how would you describe him?
It's a classic clown. When we got together and designed him, I told him I wanted to be a very, very loose uniform and tight at the ankles and tight at the wrists and with ruffles. And Bill Turner, who was a very fine artist, he was working with us with just pencil and paper, and he could draw. Boy, I wish you could see some of the stuff he did. But he sketched it out, and we'd say, well, put this there, and put this there, and so forth. And at the beginning, they had that hat of mine pointing straight up, looked like a dunce cap. And I didn't like that, so I crushed it down, and I said I gave it a 50 mission crush, because that's what the airline, or what the fighter pilots used to do with their, when they're cats, they put the headphones on, and it would smash their heads down. And they say when you're in 50 missions, why, as you can tell by the way the guy's hat was. So I said I'll put a 50 mission crush on my clown hat, and that's the way it stayed.
Right. What would we be shocked to know about Bob Marvin that we wouldn't know from watching you on television?
Nothing. I don't do anything shocking. I'm not a shocker. I don't go out much, and I don't drink, and I quit smoking a long time ago. So I'm just a nice old man.
Look, I definitely can attest to that. Definitely a nice man. Do you miss performing?
You know what I miss about performing?
What's that?
The energy. I don't have any energy anymore, and I wish I had just half the energy I used to expend every day doing Flippo. But no, I don't miss performing. I miss the energy that I had while I was performing. And of course, if I had the energy, I'd probably be performing somewhere, doing something.
Right.
So yeah, I sort of miss performing.
Do you still play the saxophone?
Nope.
No?
Nope, I put it away, and I sometimes look around and say, where is that thing? I had a good time with that too. Played that all through college, and kept on playing while I was doing Flippo and so forth. So there was a time to let that go too. When the pilot light went out with the tenor saxophone, why I stopped playing that. So there comes a time in life when you just stop doing some things,
Yeah.
And you'll find out.
Yeah. Well, you certainly did leave on top, though, and I think that was a great thing that you left that never got old, and people still wanted to watch. And I think a lot of times people ride things into the ground, and you had a great sense of timing on that.
Well, I enjoyed it, and when Frank Cromer put together this roast, I told him there aren't going to be that many people going to be interested. He said, "You'd be surprised how many people love Flippo." I said, man, when you get off the air, nobody remembers you. So he said, well, you'll see. And when they drove me over to the restaurant where the show was, it was a big restaurant, and we pulled into the parking lot, and there was no place to park. So it was packed. So they dropped me off at the stage door, and they went and parked way back at the end of the parking area because there was no parking place close by.
Absolutely.
So we had a good crowd.
Right. And what was it like that night to get up and be roasted like that?
I enjoyed it. I liked it. I had a good time. And I was really gratified when I saw how many people were there. All my friends, people I hadn't seen in years, showed up to say hello and enjoy the doings. We had a good time.
Right. And that can also, a video or a DVD, I believe, if that can be purchased on flippotheclown.com, and you certainly don't want to miss that. That was a great night. Yeah,
Frank's got DVDs of that. Has them on the website, I guess.
Yeah, certainly. Go and check that out. That would be a great Christmas gift to wake up Christmas morning and pop that in.
There you go.
The DVD player.
Yeah, now you're talking.
Yeah. What would you say is your greatest accomplishment just in life as a whole?
Surviving. It's a job being, I'll tell you, it's being old is for sissies. How old am I? I'm 78 years old. And man, it's a hassle, I'll tell you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I don't have the energy. And, I got a basement full of power tools. I used to be a real hot do-it-yourself. I'm staring right out the back window of the kitchen, and there's a big deck out there that I built. And along with my pal Dale Dirthaler, who is a fine designer and builder, and he's the one that designed it and is the primary mover behind it. But I was just going to put a little flat deck out there, just someplace I said, to burn up a few steaks and have some friends over. And I showed him the plans, and he says, "You can't put that in your backyard." I said, "Why not?" I thought it was something with the code, that you couldn't do that.
Right.
He says, "That's no class." I said, "Class? I'm not looking for class. I'm looking for a deck, someplace to burn a few steaks and have some friends over." So he takes my pad of design paper and starts sketching. And he sketches a tri-level deck. There's one level for conversation, another level for barbecuing, and the third level is a gazebo. I said, "Are you kidding? You think I'm going to tackle a job like that? It'll take me forever to get that built." He said, "Well, I'll help you." I said, "Whoa, wait a minute. What did you say?" He said, "I'll help you." I said, "But you got a store to run." "Well, we'll sneak out every now and then." And by golly, he did it, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful deck.
Oh, I can imagine.
But it took a better part of a year to build it.
Right. Has there ever been a low point in life where you just weren't happy?
Yeah, right now.
Oh.
I just miss the energy. I just wish I had the energy that I have.
Right.
Because that's the big thing, energy. Enjoy it while you're young, boy, because once it goes, it's gone.
Is there anything you watch now? What's funny to you?
Well, all of the great comedians I watched, Caesar, all of those guys. Johnny Carson, I miss them all. And there was a guy by the name of Sharkey, I think it was. I can't remember. That's another thing that goes when you get older. You can't remember things. But Harry Sharkey was his name. And he was a funny man. And he worked a long time. I used to end up playing in the band backing him. And he was a funny guy. But those are the things that I miss, are the things that are funny to me. There aren't too many funny things out now. You know what I watch now? So You Want to Be a Millionaire.
Oh.
I watch for that every evening.
Yeah, this is an interesting show. Definitely.
Yeah, it is.
I think it's because the knowledge on that show is not it's not Jeopardy.
Well, it is when you get into the big money.
Right.
First they start out with those softball questions like, who's buried in Grant's tomb, And they get up to $100, $500, and they'll get up to $15,000, $16,000. Then it comes to curveball, and they ask some really, really hard questions. And I make it through all of the softball questions, but then they start getting into those $16,000 and $25,000 questions, and I rack out. Don't know nothing.
Aside from the loss of energy, is everything going okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Same old thing.
That's great. How would you like to be remembered?
How would I like to be remembered?
Right.
I always tell people, remember the clown did the snappers. But that's all. Just remember he's a nice guy. Did some funny stuff. Amused my kids. People come up to me and they say, "Do you recognize me?" And I'll say, "Well, no, not really. Well, I was on your show when I was in the Cub Scouts." And the guy standing there with a beard, thinks I should recognize him.
Right.
But I just want to be remembered as a nice guy.
Right. Well, because you touched a lot of people's lives. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, we did that okay.
Yeah. Years from now, many years from now, what would you like your epitaph to read? What will Bob Marvin's epitaph read?
The clown did the snappers. That's what I always have on my tombstone.
Put that on there?
Remember, the clown did the snappers.
Well, I'd just like to make mention again that the Ohio Historical Society will recognize Flippo the King of Clowns at a ceremony on Monday, December 5th at 10 a.m. at the Ohio Historical Society, and that's at 1982 Velma Avenue in Columbus, Ohio. And of course, visit flippotheclown.com for all your needs for Christmas or any other time of the year. Just sit back and enjoy the career of a great man. And Bob, I just have to tell you, you're without a doubt an Ohio legend. I appreciate you stopping by, and we're just never going to see Bob Marvin's like again. I mean, what a great performer in all aspects.
Well, thank you very much. I sure appreciate it.
Well, thank you, and you have a good day. And please do come back and visit us again.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.